Hello, my name is Gregor Fonaszewski. Today we will be teaching you about OpenStack and how to use it on FutureGrid. For this tutorial, it is best if you start with the manual and go to manual.futuregrid.org and visit the OpenStack Grizzly tutorial. So you can see that there's a chapter for it, and click just on it and visit this manual page. Now we start by first logging into a machine that's called Sierra, on which OpenStack Grizzly is installed. We do this from our terminal, and we just replace the username with our own username, which is in our case Albert. Now it asks us to add our keys to the authorized host list and ask us for the password for the key. And we recommend that you use SSH agent or SSH add so that you don't have to constantly retype your password in case you want to repeatedly log in or log out. Now we are logged in into Sierra, and we need to now prepare some steps. First is we're loading a module that's called Cloud Mesh. This module is specific to FutureGrid at the moment, and it will be used to create random password and setup for you that is valid for FutureGrid. That's done via the cmmanage command. That's called cmmanage config Sierra OpenStack Grizzly. And this will be taking a little bit, as you can see, and it creates a random password for you, as well as some additional information. This information is stored in a file under the .futuregrid directory, and it's called novarc. If you list it, you see things such as your project ID, the authentication URL on which OpenStack runs, the certificate authority, passwords, and so forth. Don't worry, I have changed the password, so don't even try to break into that account. Then you need to source that particular file that we have created. And for the next step, we clear the screen a little bit, and we need to be loading the Nova client so that we can communicate with OpenStack. Once we have done that, we can now issue Nova commands, such as list me all the flavors in OpenStack that are available on Sierra. And here we have it. The table is a little bit big, so I reduced the window slightly so that we can see this in a little bit better format. And there you have it. This is our interaction with Nova, and we are listing here the flavors. The manual has additional commands listed, such as which images are available that you can load. And you just simply say image list, and we have here a number of images. The standard images are starting with FutureGrid, and these are images that you should be able to use. Other images have been uploaded by other users. Now let us create an image, but first we have to upload a key to our OpenStack installation, and we do this by just copying that key command, and we need to generate the key. We could have also used our previous key from another location to register it with OpenStack, but let's just create a new key, and let's take a look how the key looks like in OpenStack. But first we need to be changing the permissions so that no one can log into this, and we take a look into the key pair list, and there you have it. You have a key that's called Albert key that is in Nova now, and that key can be used for later on to log in into images. But first we need to be setting up some network parameters. As this is a shared project, this has already been done by a previous user that is in our group. And we set the TCP security rule defaults. And as you can see, also that has been done. So just let's take a look at the default rules that are already available. And as you can see, these are the rules that are available for us. So I will be able to use TCP and ICMP to get to my images. The only thing that I have now to do is to just boot up an image. I paste and copy the boot command and type return. And as you can see, I use the $user environment variable, which is essentially our username Albert. Now the image is being built. You can see that I've used the key Albert /key. I used the image Ubuntu 12, and it's a small image. These are the resource requirements, such as small memory footprint and so on. And this image has a particular ID with which I can access it. Now let's take a look what we can do next. We can actually list the images that are available, that we have, not the images, but the virtual machines that we have booted. As you can see, I'm not the only user in this particular group that has started images. And you can see that my image has been switched from the status from build to active, and it's accessible through the name Albert-001. Now let's start to log in into this image. I just copy the SSH command, but the only thing I have to change is the IP address. So I'm changing now the IP address to which I can log in then. And here we go. It takes our key, authenticates, and I'm logged in as the root user into that particular image. And I have been able to successfully start an image in OpenStack on the machine Sierra on FutureGrid. I log out. Here we are back into Sierra. You can see it with S1. That's our login node that we reached. Let's exit there, and we are back to our image. Next, I would like to show you how to actually manage virtual machines and delete them, for example. So what we're doing is we are logging in into, again, Sierra as a machine. Because we logged in again, we need to be remembering that we need to be loading our Nova RC file. So let's go visit back again the manual, copy the source line for source, the Nova RC file, execute it, and now we can again issue commands after we have loaded the module for the Nova client. Now Nova client commands are loaded. I can say, for example, Nova list, and as you can see, here are my images. Let's resize again so that we have a better view. And you can see that there are lots of images there from another user. Let me start now a couple of images for myself. I go back to the command that starts these images. There we have the Nova boot command, where I specify the flavor, the image, and the key name. And I have added one new image one new virtual machine. Let's do it again to add a second one. Let's see how this looks like in our virtual machine list. As you can see, the name is the same. If I want to delete now the machines, I could be tempting to say, delete this with the name Albert01. And as you see, this allows us not to do this because the name is not unique. So what we need to do is we need to specify the IDs instead. So let's just delete one of the virtual machines. Now, as you can see, there's only one virtual machine left. Now let's start up another machine, and here we change the name to 2. And so we have now 2 virtual machines. Let's do another one. Now we have 3 virtual machines. Now if we issue a Nova list, we see unique names for the machines. That means that if I want to delete them or manage them, I can uniquely address them by name. And let's just delete all 3 of them. This way I don't have to deal with the IDs, but can use our convenient names for managing these virtual machines. Now let's see a Nova list. You see all of them have been deleted. And now a thing that you need to know: when you are working in a group of people that share the same project, you can actually delete their virtual machines. That's done on purpose because you work with them as a group. And here we, for example, found out that the user has not released his virtual machines or killed them, and we just delete them all from our OpenStack cloud. Let's do an overlist. Now we have properly cleaned up our environment. Next, let's find out how we can actually change the password for our OpenStack system. For that, we have a program called Keystone, and the parameter password update. We type in a nice password. In our case, we have chosen a password that we will replace later. Make sure you remember your password, because you have to type it in again. And you have to now update your NovaRC file. So I just go in and use an editor to edit my NovaRC file and punch in the new password there. I'll replace the old one and put the new one in. And I've chosen a password called not good. You should probably not use that password. You should be using a strong password, such as random keys or upper lower case and those kind of things. Don't forget to source it. And once you source it, you can again issue Nova list. And you're using now your new password for OpenStack. Thank you very much for attending this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it.